Hey there, we are going to show you how to do the competition makeup for this season. There are 3 different palette options to get this look. We have those who were able to get the Kardashian palette, those who have the Naked 2 palette, and then those who have the CoverGirl Golden's palette. I'll tell you with all 3 of these options which colors to use so that you're able to accomplish this look. And we're going to do the makeup on Miss Avery. And so here we go. When we start, we're going to start with the eye portion because this is a lot of makeup and I want to make sure that I have the opportunity to clean it off of her face before we do blush and foundation and all of that stuff. To help keep this on, we definitely always start with a primer. You can use a drugstore option or your favorite. We prefer the Urban Decay Primer Potion or the MAC Paint Pots in Painterly. Those seem to work best for us. So that's where we'll start. And if you want to, Ave, go ahead and put the primer on your eyes. There you go.
What if Casey and your mother didn't really go to that spa and they're up to something?
And you just want to make sure that either you apply it, she's used to this now, but either you apply it all the way up to the eyebrow, all around the eye, close to the eyelash, and then go ahead and put it underneath your eye, up against your bottom eyelashes too, okay?
I'm gonna need a little more for that.
That's fine. Alright, for the first thing here, we are going to start with this black color. And it's called Blackout if you have Naked 2. If you're in the Kardashian palette, if I can get it open, it's down here above your highlighter. And if you're in the Golden's palette, it doesn't include a black, so you will have to use a black from something else. But we're going to form kind of like a cut crease. So I'll do this and then I'll show you. Let me turn here. Okay, open your eye.
Hello, young Peggy. What's happening, girl?
Just can't write a song today.
I'll pick up the right thing. What you need?
More eyeshadow. Okay, look at me, please.
Blueberries are a mighty food, packed with energy and vitamins that you can use to boost your imagination. It's gonna rain any minute now. Watch my fall. Oh, no. Okay, here's what we'll do.
Okay. Now, none of this has to be perfect, but you're basically going to take black eyeshadow from the bottom lash line out to the edge of the eyebrow and then up above their crease. So will you open your eye? So that it's a little bit above their eye. And all of this is going to be blended out, so it being all messy is no problem right now.
Just try your best.
And then we'll move on to our next step. Are you going to sneeze? Next you want to get a blending brush, fluffy, whatever you can, and you want to, if you have Naked 2, go ahead and dip into Tease. If you have the Kardashian palette, you want to do this with this color up here at the top, above your black. And if you have the Golden's palette, I actually have to look at this one this time. You want to use Cookie for this, okay? And this is basically just to soften the black a little bit. So I'm going to dip into that. And Ave, will you look at me, please? And you just want to make a windshield wiper motion along the crease of the eye.
But not all the way over.
Yeah, not all the way over. And you'll notice that it starts to smooth it out. And you'll just keep going. And this kind of takes a little bit of time. So it's not going to happen in like 10 seconds. So just keep Keep blending it out, and then I'll come back and show you when it's done. Next, we are going to work on the sparkly part of this look, and if you are in the Naked 2 palette, we're going to be working with Verve. If you are in, I know it's very pretty. If you are in the Kardashian palette, we're going to be working over here with this guy. And again, let me look. If you're in the Goldens palette, you are going to be working with Chiffon. And this is one of those that gets a little different. For this, you're going to want to get your brush wet. Some of you will have the all-nighter spray or any kind of other setting spray. You may have MAC Fix Plus. If you don't have any of those and you really don't want to buy a setting spray, and you don't want to buy a setting spray, you can dip in water, but just know it won't have the staying power. So what I'll do is I'll spray setting powder or setting spray on the back of my hand, and I will get my brush saturated.
That means what?
Thank you. And then I'm going to dip into the color and get a lot of it on our brush. All right, Avery, turn and look at me.
Oh, it's cold.
Okay. You're going to use this first color over, I don't know if you can see it on here, over the first third of the eye. And with the black on, it's going to look like halfway, but it's about a third of the eye over. And then you'll repeat this with the color Half Baked in Naked 2. Believe it or not, the highlighter in the Kardashian palette, and then you'll do it with Sunkissed in the Goldens palette. And again, you'll do the same thing. You'll either get it wet or spray setting powder, setting spray, I keep saying powder, setting spray on your brush.
You've been working with powder.
I know, because I have setting powder in front of me.
This?
No, that's primer.
Oh, you're talking about this.
Yeah. And then you're going to do the rest of the eye with this more gold color all the way over to where there should be like a slight V. Give that just a second to dry.
That is really pretty though.
Yeah, it is. And then take any of the dark browns in your makeup palette, whichever you happen to have, and just dab a little bit of brown, a little bit of black, and then you can just slightly, I'm going to go below your eye, so open up. Open up. I'm right here. This is as far as I go.
Tickles.
I know, keep it open. You can go slightly below your eye. Right now hers is messy, but the great thing about this is that because we waited to put foundation on, all of this can be cleaned up really easy with a baby wipe, which is what we will have to do. So I'm going to go ahead and clean her up, and then the next thing we will do is the liquid liner and the lashes.
At the top.
Alright, the next part is liquid liner. There's a lot of options here, and this is mostly about preference. Fine to use a drugstore. In fact, the NYC liquid liner is like $3 or something, and it's great. MAC's Rapid Black is a good one. Stila's Stay All Day is excellent. I like to use the Essence Superfine with Avery because, one, it's waterproof. Two, it comes with a really long felt tip, and it makes it quick to get her eyes done because, again, most kids do not like having their liner done. And this is just going to create a cat eye along the line of the black eyeliner. So, of course, you want to start on the inside, and you want to take this as close to the lash line as you can get it. And it may be something that you have to go multiple times across.
I can't believe it after all these years. I'm looking into your beautiful eyes again.
But this will be a very dramatic line because we want this to show up on stage. Okay, that's the first swipe over, and I haven't pulled it down to create a cat eye just yet. But that's how we'll start. Alright, you want to turn? So I would suggest, if you need help with doing a cat eye, to go and look at one of the bajillions of tutorials online that will tell you how to do them. They will probably be far more qualified to tell you than I am. After that, you want to take your lashes, and I'll go ahead.
This eye is bigger than this eye.
Well, yeah, that's
It's weird.
that's what it does. You want to take your lashes, and the thing that's really important with these is that when you put the glue on the lashes, you want to let this glue sit on there for, that's a lot of glue.
How much, Mom? Trying to glue it to my whole eye?
Yeah, pretty much. You want to make sure this glue sits on there for like at least 30 seconds to maybe a minute before you put that on their eye. That way it gets tacky and it's not going to slide around. So we'll just kind of let it go for a second. And again, we'll speed it up and take out the audio.
Yeah, adding music or something.
Yeah. Okay, ready? Alright, so when it's time to put on the lash, you want to make sure that the lash is tilted somewhat up, because if you leave it on straight out, they're not going to be able to see. So, and again, the lash in this case, because you have on this eyeliner, it does not have to be perfectly against their lash line. You just give it the tilt up. And then after that, you can take your favorite mascara and just brush it together. I'm not really going to do it because we're going to take this off, but open your eye. You would just brush it together and pull the natural lashes into the false lashes, and pretty much the eye is done. Alright, baby wipe, makeup wipe, whatever you need, take and go ahead and clean up any kind of stuff that got everywhere else. And at this point, you're going to go ahead and do foundation. And I know a lot of parents have not been using foundation, but this is extremely important. If you need to do something from the drugstore because you don't want to invest a lot in it, that's fine too. Just know that like Revlon Color Stay is really good for stage makeup. I have the sponge. We personally use MAC Studio Fix for her on stage because it hangs out really well. I use a beauty blender to put it on her, but again, fingers, brush, whatever you want to do. This is also another situation where we prime. We use a Professional by Benefit, or you can use Smashbox, basically whatever. I'm not actually going to put the primer on you today just because it doesn't need to stay. But make sure that you get the foundation all over their face and blend down onto their neck so there are not any weird lines left. And alright, now we have a base over her entire face, and this is where you have an option. You can just use a bronzer. Our preference is Hoola by Benefit, or if you have a contouring palette, this is the Anastasia kit, you can use that as well. It's completely up to you. But after putting foundation on, you definitely want to warm up their face all over again. So whatever your choice is, for today, I'll do bronzer on her. Sometimes I contour her face. It's just whatever we feel like and how early it is.
Sometimes I make a contour in the nose.
Yeah, at 5 o'clock in the morning, though, we typically don't. But you want to do this down the jawline, which will you turn your head towards the camera. It's going to be above the ear, towards the corner of the mouth. But you want to stop close to the edge of the eye, otherwise it looks like a weird beard line. But you can just see it's just a slight shaping into the face, and you want to take that into the temple area, and then onto the forehead. And again, this is just going to warm up their face. If you turn, I'll go ahead and do it on your other side.
Just drawing it doesn't sound like something a sort of sister would do. Okay, well, sort of sisters have to sort of help
And
each
then
other.
just a little bit at the
This is actual
jawline.
secret.
And you remember that when you use bronzer or contouring powder, anything that you put that on, it is going to make that look minimized.
Smaller?
Yes, it'll make it look smaller. Anything that you put the highlighters on, it's going to draw out from their face. Next, if you're in the Kardashian palette, there's a great blush in there. If you don't have that palette, I believe any kind of like a bronzy rose would work. If you're in the Kardashian palette, be cautious. This blush is very pigmented, and if you're not careful, you will pick up way too much. Will you look at me, Ave? With the blush, you want to actually not put this up towards the nose. You want to start a little bit out of the corner of the eye, and again, take that up towards the hairline. Because with blush, that's going to blend out. When you put it just on the apples of the cheeks, it looks very sharp, and we want this to just look really nice and smooth. So just kind of blend it out and up, and then you do the same on the other side. And then from here, it's again very important, we're all using this, any type of gold highlighter. This from the Kardashian palette is beautiful. If you don't have that, Ofra makes a really beautiful gold highlighter. And from the drugstore, Physicians Formula makes a really pretty gold highlighter. Anything like that will work, but we're definitely looking for a bronzy highlighted look rather than like the white highlighters. So you want to just dip in a little bit to this. And Ave, let me see. You want to take this at the top of the cheekbones and brush. And you'll want this forehead, top of the nose, top of the lip, anywhere that the light,
We'll probably hit.
yeah, will hit.
Like the chin.
A little bit on the chin. And of course you would do both sides. And this will just create a really, really pretty look on stage. And then the last thing that is part of the face, if I can find it, I thought I sat everything out, but I'm guessing that I didn't. Oh, here it is. The lips. This stuff is great.
Because, like, if you go to get, like, a drink out of your water bottle, it won't come off as soon as it dries.
Right. And I mean, again, with this is something that everyone knows how to do. So, you know, but and this will complete the makeup look this year.
In the school I'm gonna conquer.